Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So, by many requests, today's video is all about how to clean our fruits and vegetables from the pesticides. This has all come about from the last video I did literally the other day, when we discovered that there are up to 48 pesticides and chemicals on the fruits and vegetables that are coming in from different countries, and a lot of them are really bad for health and not approved to be used in the UK. I did vaguely cover the options of how to, the best way to clean our produce, but apparently I haven't done good enough job of explaining a lot of information. So today's video is all about this. So first of all, okay, let's get through and actually cover the top 12, which is a dirty dozen, okay? And it does vary, believe this or not. They do this pretty much every year to try to find out which of the fruits and vegetables covered in most pesticides. But as currently stands at the moment, so strawberries, spinach, kale or collard greens in America, grapes, peaches, pears, nectarines, apples, bell and hot peppers, cherries, blueberries, and green beans. And also, we know from the last article I've seen, apparently citrus fruit is actually one of the best. So I'm not really sure why it's not on the list, but not actually one of the best, one of the worst, sorry. But here we are. So pretty much, it's honest to say, guys, that I think 99% of the produce that we are getting in our supermarkets is covered in more than one pesticide. Also, very, very important thing to note, guys, things that are vegetable things or fruit things that are organic, okay, are still not excluded, unfortunately. I know what many of you are thinking, they might not spray many pesticides whilst they're growing, but, and it's a huge but, they still do cover them in waxes and other things to prolong the shelf lives. And this is honestly also applies to organic produce. This is something I've been researching for quite a while. And it is, I think, unfortunately, a bit of an eye-opener that nowadays you cannot trust anything. So first things first, guys, right? I said to you before that, okay, for the best results is really good idea to invest in something like this. Okay, there's many of them available on the market. Okay, they produce purifiers. So this one is by AquaPure and this one is by Mirror Safety. Again, there are loads and loads of different ones. They all work on the same principle of oxidation. Okay, so they create tiny bubbles that then adhere to your produce and it goes through the process and basically lifts all the dirt and pesticides out. There are, of course, many other natural ways, which we'll go through in a minute. First of all, again, I wanted to cover that some of you suggested that you can actually buy a produce wash, which is absolutely you can, okay? They are readily available on the market, but they do consist of pretty much natural things that you can make yourself. So if you don't have the time, then you can absolutely buy that. But alternatively, mixture of things like an acid and bicarbonate of soda will also do a very good job. So first of all, once we be going through the natural ways of doing this, I'm going to run two of those machines because, again, some of you wanted to see how those machines work. So here, okay, we've got 4 tomatoes, and you can see like the dirt on the tomatoes anyway. On many veg you pick up, you can see the instant dirt. So I'm going to put them in here, okay. And I've got some spinach, organic spinach is going to go into this machine, or this bowl for the other machine. Okay, so mix that in a little bit. So for the best results, it is suggested that we mix a little bit of salt with the machine, just to aid the machine working and removing the stuff. So a little teaspoon on top. Mix it in. Because spinach is, as you heard, one of the top. And you can see it quite often because it's quite low to the ground. And we also know, okay, the stuff that is sprayed, like sewage on the ground, it's also going to be on your leaves. So, okay, let's do it. This is the deeper bowl. I'm going to use the Mirror Safety one. I've done a review on this about a year ago, so have a look or search my channel. But you have a preset settings for vegetables, fruits, berries, greens, mushrooms, and even meat and fish. Because again, there are things in our meat and fish that we don't want. So I'm going to select myself greens. So let me get this in. Okay, put that in the middle. Okay, and I'm going to put greens. And start. Okay, it will start working. You can hear this going. It'll create bubbles. Okay, and the bubbles will basically ionize the water, so they'll be kind of all over. They'll be clinging to every part, and then be lifting up. So they were telling me now it's 2%, so it'll be running for a little while. So now we have tomatoes. See the This one has to be submerged, so I'm going to put it on, it goes blue. We're going to submerge that in water, and it's going to start doing pretty much the same thing. So you can see this one automatically is a little bit quieter, and you can see the oxygen coming out, creating small bubbles, and this guy there is totally bubbling away. So whilst they're doing this, okay, let's talk about the natural ways of washing. Okay, first of all, okay, you can just, or you have to in fact, invest into like a little scrubbing brush or a sponge. And the best way, especially for the hard, like a citrus fruit, is a good idea to be able to scrub this first. Soaking stuff, okay, so we have solutions are, you're soaking your fruits and vegetables in the bicarbonate of soda and water. You can also do a vinegar mixture. This is for stuff that's got a little bit more coating, like wax coating. Again, citrus, so you've got oranges, lemons, apples as well. Believe this or not, apples have a coating, you know, the A peel. Okay, things like this are being covered in waxes, and we need acid to dissolve the waxes on those fruits and vegetables. Because how this works, guys, they spray pesticides, okay, once the stuff is growing, and then it gets harvested. They spray some more to keep the fruits and vegetables in a better condition, and then obviously the wax on the top. Okay, so again, I have this discussion with Mark on the channel. So basically what happens is they cover everything in chemicals, and then it gets waxed in. So it's very important, okay, to get the wax off your fruits and vegetables, mainly fruits, just so you can then wash off all the other nasty stuff. So lemon or orange, no, so lemon juice, okay, or vinegar will do a really good job of that. Next thing, of course, is a salt. It is kind of important to be added onto the solutions here, or you can make a 10% salt water, okay, and you can let your vegetables and fruits sit in there for about 10 minutes. Just to logically, okay, you have to understand that which method is best for your fruits and vegetables. You wouldn't want to have your soft fruit or soft berries sitting there in the 10% salt water solutions because, well, you know, they're soft, they're going to kind of soak in all that water. So for that kind of instance is the best use bicarbonate of soda. Something like for a citrus fruit with a hard skin, something that's not going to be soaking in all that stuff, of course, then, guys, you can use either vinegar or salt solution. So that's saying, guys, I still mentioned it on the last video, that unfortunately with this citrus fruit, when I did the experiment and actually soaked it in food coloring for a little while, it is penetrated through the skin. So it is very much important, although we're trying to clean the skin off, I would strongly suggest, say, if you have in your gin and tonic or water lemon, not to put your skin of the lemon in your drink. And I totally appreciate this, kind of a little bit counterproductive, considering that the skin, that's what gives you really that sort of citrusy, you know, zesty flavor. But I strongly suggest, guys, if you do enjoy your drink with a lemon, is you peel your lemon altogether, because again, it's actually shocking. Have a look at that video and have a look how much the chemical or coloring actually penetrated through the skin. So if you think some residue, even if you washed it off, still stayed inside that skin, because skin is quite thick, okay, you still be consuming this and putting this in your drink. And of course, things like apples, apparently, again, in the article I saw, they're suggesting that it's best to peel it, because I totally understand, again, to a certain extent, it probably works similar way to how the citrus thing worked. It still penetrates through the skin to some extent, maybe a little bit to the flesh, I don't know. I haven't tested this with the apple, but the general suggestion is to actually peel your apples as well. So whilst we're there, just don't forget, okay, to just give them a little bit of mix up, okay? I'm using those glass bowls, guys, big bowls, just to give you a demonstration so you can see stuff. Generally, okay, if your sink is clean enough and you have the vegetable compartment, you can do this in a sink, or of course you can do that in a glass bowl. There's absolutely no issue at all. So this one's now finished, it stopped flashing. Okay, so technically our tomatoes should be nice and, well, as pesticide free as they could be. So we'll wait for this one, and then I'll show you what we have left in the water. Don't always expect to see like tons of dirt and rubble, because in the end of the day, before you even proceed to do that, it's a good idea to rinse off the mud, because, you know, we're talking about just rinsing it first, putting it in the clean water to obviously maximize the cleanliness. And the same thing ideally with the spinach, unless it's already washed spinach. So let's give it a minute and I'll show you. Okay, guys, so this one is now finished as well. So I'm going to get them out. Okay, and get this one out. You can see they're slightly different cycles. This one is a bit more straightforward, like sort of plonk it and go. Okay, you can clean them both, by the way, so that's not a problem. So if I get my plastic tomatoes out, that's why I call them, because they literally are pretty much plastic tomatoes. So it again, you can't see a huge amount, okay? Let me just get the camera and I'll show you. So this is the water, okay? That's not, as I said, guys, it's not a lot you can see. You can see that a bit from the tomato bit there anyway, but there's a couple of little bit of floaters in there. It's very difficult to tell considering I'm mostly the type of my worktop, but it looks like, I'm not sure what that is. Looks like a bit of, not a worm but something, but like a hairy thing, I don't know. But it's sunk to the bottom. So yeah, that's the tomato ones. Now we'll have a look at the spinach. Obviously, it's going to be manky anyway. You can see sort of pats of spinach. It's a cloudy water, really cloudy water. So big God knows what in it. I think it was washed one, so it's, you know, but you've got, yeah, it looks pretty manky, doesn't it? So guys, yes, there we are. Again, it's very important to, afterwards, because you're doing this with salt, rinse your produce off salt. Again, put this under, you know, tap and rinse all the bits from there as well. And then your produce will be as good, well, as good as possible. It's really unfortunate that we have to go to this extent to really purify our food. But again, guys, we talked about it in the last video, the amount of chemicals on there and what those chemicals are. This is the whole point. They're not being allowed in this country for a reason, yet they're still sneaking in through the imported fruits and vegetables. And the trouble is with the pesticides, like you see with washed tomatoes, you don't really see them on the tomato. You might see a little bit of like soil, that kind of thing, but you won't see any of those chemicals. And quite often, obviously, they will penetrate to some degree, obviously, in the skin. Depends on the fruits and vegetables. And unfortunately, the soft fruits or soft berries are really, really, and the, you know, the brunt of that kind of thing. So yes, guys, as unfortunate as it is, we have to take this matter in our own hands. And if you do, obviously we're trying to buy local where possible, but we all kind of, you know, relying on, say, if you feel like you want to have a little bit of grape in the middle of the winter, then, you know, obviously they are going to be imported. This is just how it goes. But I just think it's very important to understand and comprehend the extent to how much of the contamination is in our food, and at least do bare minimum of actually making sure you're not consuming you know, a lot of it. I used to be myself, guys, like, what's the big deal? When I was younger, pick up an apple, didn't have to wash it, and I was like, why are you not washing your apple? And I'm like, why? Because I've got all the stuff on it. It's like, what stuff? And you look at it, it's like, yeah, it's an apple, it looks clean. Yeah, because it's been, you know, dunked in stuff and then waxed on the top, and that's fine. But I didn't understand this at the point, and I really wish I did. So hopefully now the video gives you a bit of an understanding how bad things are there, guys, and to make sure that you take appropriate steps to make sure you consume as less of the pesticides as possible. So anyway, guys, we'll hopefully find this video helpful. Please don't forget thumbs up. Really helps the channel grow. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye bye.